explaining how the VA program works, showing them every step of the way. I was able to get that loan done for them. I was able to help them feel comfortable. I know months and years down the road, I still would go and visit them at their house and stuff. It was amazing. We became friends. And that experience was so good for me just that first time that from there on out, I was like, I'm just going to help veterans. That's it. I'm just going to work with fellow veterans. I'm a Marine Corps veteran myself. So it just made sense to, hey, this is what I do. Uh, I enjoy teaching. So part of that is teaching realtors, how the program works. And that's what really got me tied into it. And I think that happens with anybody in any kind of business. Once you find something that's like, wow, that was incredible. I want to do that again. I want to help somebody else, and so that's how I got into this. And that's why I'm still doing it.
Welcome to the Texas Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview Texas real estate professionals from active real estate investors, lenders, property managers, and many others that provide goods and services into the real estate investing industry in the great state of Texas. Our goal is simple: to share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level, and to meet the pros that can help you get there. Texas Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and entrepreneurs build the business they need to live the life that they've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is a VA home loan specialist who really helps realtors as well be better educated on the process so that folks can serve the veteran community. Please welcome Chad Bowman. Chad, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dylan. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
It's great to connect with you here. I know you're in Texas. I'm a Texas licensed realtor. So one of the beautiful things about Texas is the really large veteran community, of course, all the military bases and the large constituency. I'm curious, we were talking a bit before hopping onto the show here. There's still, I'd say, a lot of room to grow when it comes to awareness and knowledge for the average realtor to navigate the system. I'm sure you must see a lot of that as well.
We do it. It's been that way for years. I've been doing VA loans for over 21 years now. And literally, we still hear all of these same things as far as VA loans are too hard. They take more time. You can only use it once. I mean, all kinds of myths and misconceptions about the VA program. Some of those just come from the internet, people just looking things up, and some from the realtors that they're consulting with, and some just from your favorite uncle that seems to know everything about everything and has no idea what they're talking about when it comes to VA loans. So so I'm out there just doing my best to share the information about VA loans, how they actually work, in the field day to day, to help a veteran get in a house.
I have some granular questions that I am ignorant on, so I would love to be able to ask you here. Maybe give away some of the gold, Chad, but not all of it, as I like to say. Are the children of folks who served also eligible in every case for a VA home loan?
Yeah.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Actually, in no case. No, they're not. It's only going to be the veteran and their spouse. So there is an exception where if the veteran were to pass away under certain circumstances connected to their military service, or if they're 100% disabled veteran at the time they pass away, the widow or widower could use the VA loan themselves. But otherwise, it's just a program for veterans to use. That being said, sometimes they want to move in with their kids, or their kids want to move in with them, and they want to get a house together. They can use a VA loan in that case to do it. However, it would be a 12.5% down payment because you're putting somebody on that loan who's not a veteran and not your spouse.
Okay.
But yes, it is for veterans. That's the eligibility. That's the entitlement. Yeah.
I was actually unaware of that. I've spoken with some investors who've given me other information, so I'm glad to have this
Oh, okay.
information
Yeah, yeah.
here. And coming from the source as well, I think again, there's good information, there's not good information, and there's just flat out false information
It's
when it
either
comes.
accurate or not accurate. Honestly, that's how I look at it. It's either
Right.
true or false.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean,
when you have of course, there's going to be a wide range of people relocating, looking for their forever home. Do folks typically go to, when they are eligible, go to the VA home loan as their first source? Hey, I have this resource to use. Or do they sometimes feel like, A, because of the lender that they're working with or their realtor, that process may be more difficult and they're going to bypass that entirely? What do you see as the general kind of warmth to using a VA loan first?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's kind of across the board. Some people know, hey, VA is the best thing on the planet. I'm going to use it, and that's all that that's their first place to go. Some folks they've used it before and only think you can use it once, so they don't even think about using it again, even though you can have it multiple times. I even had a veteran with 4 VA loans at the same time, so there's a lot more that you can do a lot with VA, and people are surprised to hear it. But many times it's just whoever they go to for advice to buy that house, and if it's a realtor that doesn't have VA experience, or even worse, had a VA loan go bad years ago, and it's like they had a bad experience, so they're like, no, you don't want to go VA. I mean, that's all it takes sometimes to push somebody into a different program, or simply lenders who are really focused on other programs like FHA loans. I have veterans call on a regular basis trying to refinance their FHA loans, and it's like, why did you have an FHA loan to begin with? You should
In the
have had a
first
VA
place.
loan. So it's kind of across the board. That's why we try to get to people, try to get the word out. I can only talk to so many veterans, so I spend, when I can, at least once a month teaching a VA class across Texas where I can get to realtors and they can spread the word, and put it out there to the network.
I want to ask you about the lending space when it comes to VA. Do I would like to believe that most lenders in Texas are aware of the process, but is that true, or is it really dependent on the lender?
I'm aware of the process, how to do a USDA loan, but I would never do a USDA loan for somebody. Like, don't send them to me because I don't really know how to do it. I just got the general idea. But with the market the last couple of years being a little tougher than usual, a lot of lenders are just saying, hey, I do everything, right? I do everything. I can do it. I know how it works. The thing is, everything's not a vanilla loan. If it was, you could do everything. But there's a lot of things that come up on VA loans and other loan programs as well
Yeah.
where you have to be a specialist or an expert to really get it right. We step in and save loans on a regular basis, VA loans that fall out from other lenders. And then sometimes we step in and it's like this person isn't even eligible for a VA loan. How'd you get 2 weeks to closing and you're not even eligible? So
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. I wish it wasn't that way. I wish everybody that was doing VA really knew how to do it because they'd be serving our veterans better. So I'm doing my small part to try to fix that.
When you talk about serving people at the highest level, and of course, veterans, we want to take care of our military community. The thing that comes to mind for me is that there's this massive opportunity, really, right? But you mentioned really being specialized and niching down into it. When you were deciding to go down this path and really specialize on VA loans, was there lots of guidance and information? And how did you become competent in it yourself and then expand your business as a business owner?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, that's a great question. Really, the story goes back to the first customer I ever had back in 2004. I did technically do a refinance for somebody in a real estate class I was in. That was my first loan. I wish I hadn't done that because I could say my first loan was VA. But my first purchase loan that I ever did was for a retired husband and wife, and they had had their entire life savings stolen by a financial advisor. The whole thing. I mean, they were just wiped out. And then they moved back to Texas to live with family. They like really didn't have any money because of that, and they didn't trust anybody. And their realtor got in contact with me, and I just sat down with them, and I realized, wow, this is going to be. And keep in mind, this is my first real purchase customer,
Yeah.
veteran customer, and I'm new to the business, but I do understand how VA loans work because I learned as much as I possibly could before I even sat down with them. And anyhow, it was just working through with them, gaining their trust, explaining how the VA program works, showing them every step of the way. I was able to get that loan done for them. I was able to help them feel comfortable. I know months and years down the road, I still would go and visit them at their house and stuff. It was amazing. We became friends. And that experience was so good for me just that first time that from there on out, I was like, I'm just going to help veterans. That's it. I'm just going to work with fellow veterans. I'm a Marine Corps veteran myself. So it just made sense to, hey, this is what I do. Uh, I enjoy teaching. So part of that is teaching
Yeah.
realtors, how the program works. And that's what really got me tied into it. And I think that happens with anybody in any kind of business. Once you find something that's like, wow, that was incredible. I want to do that again. I want to help somebody else. And so that's how I got into this. And that's why I'm still doing it. Yeah.
I want to ask you about scaling and building a business and the marketing funnels that you've found, and then also comparing that to maybe some other strategies that I've heard from guests on the show. I can imagine that a large part of your business is word of mouth and through the realtors and the connections that you've made as well. Through the years, you mentioned the course that you teach for realtors. What has been the biggest, or maybe 1-2 punch, the biggest and then the next biggest source for leads and referrals for you in general as a business?
So you want the secret sauce? Is that what you want?
The
Just
secret sauce,
give it
yeah.
away. Honestly, for me, it's been teaching. So I really can't say that that's just like, oh, that's number one, go to number two. That's been the main focus. And the reason it's not so much straight out of the class that I get referrals or something, it's that they know after spending a 3-hour CE class with me that I can answer their VA questions anytime in the future if they have them, or they can call into my team. We're all VA specialists. And by doing that, people reach out on a regular basis. And it's like kind of like we're the VA help desk. Now, we're not the VA. Obviously, we're a private company, but
Right.
they can reach out with questions. And when they do that, and eventually they have a customer that has questions, then they send them to us, and then that's how we grow the business. And that's all I've really been doing for years. Tried a lot of other things. At the end of the day, people just want to know that you have the information they need, that you can help them, that you can explain it in a way that makes sense, and that they can trust you. And when somebody calls in and they're like, how do I pick person I'm working? I'm like, just find somebody you trust. If they know
Yeah.
what they're doing and you trust them, I mean, that's all you really need.
I mean, I can say as a Texas licensed realtor, I need a VA course to learn about all the ins and outs of it. I think you mentioned on really that network of networks, the course that you teach, but then also the realtors feel like, hey, I have a trusted person where I can go to and
Right,
sort
right.
through some of these issues. I've experienced that before I was a licensed realtor. I was involved in distressed real estate, and I felt like the only way to get through a lot of those deals, which were very hairy and thorny, was
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have a mentor or someone who's already been there and done it. Otherwise, I'm going to be figuring it out on the fly, and who knows how it's going to go. Do you get the sense that, I don't want to say all realtors because that's a blanket statement, but that a lot of realtors who may be newer to it tend to almost shy away from it unless they have that kind of connection to someone like yourself who is a trusted person where they can understand the process a little bit better because they might have no exposure to it.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of experience, and then maybe they haven't come across a VA buyer before. They didn't know. A lot of times you're new to the business. You don't know that financing matters. Like as a realtor, you're focused on buying and selling, and then down the road, experienced realtors find out real quick that, hey, your lender matters, your financing matters. You don't get paid if it doesn't close, so it really matters that they hold it together and get it done. And so that's what we built our reputation on, because you need to be consistent and you need to be somebody they can count on, and not just know how VA loans work, but know how to get them done. So I'd say the experience wise, it's across the board. I do try to get in on like Austin Board of Realtors and some other associations and their new member orientations, and try to get the people early and explain how important it is for them to take the time to learn about VA, learn about FHA, learn about conventional, learn about all the programs so that they can feel comfortable enough to talk with people about it. And also, I mentioned a lot of times in my classes that I've had plenty of veterans that I'm working with that have fired their realtors simply because they just didn't know anything about a VA loan. Or worse, they were talking down about the VA loan and trying to discourage them from using
You're
it.
different, yeah.
And so they lose a transaction, and a deal that they could have had a great opportunity and potentially future business. So I will mention one thing too, as far as being able to expand, being able to grow outside of, or in addition to the class. I have a monthly VA newsletter that I put a lot of time into, and
Yeah.
what it is free content for the realtors. And so once a month, like this month, it's the common VA contract errors. So the errors we see over and over in VA contracts. I put that in a newsletter. I detail. It's real straightforward. It's kind of conversational as you would, so it's easy to understand. And then it's something they can take and they can do whatever they want on social media. They can break it down and send it out. They can forward it as a newsletter, brand it for themselves, do whatever they want with it. But I think my success plan, I tell realtors, is one, you learn about VA. Second thing, stay up to date, which happens to be my newsletter. That's my recommendation. And the third thing is share the knowledge. If I teach you everything I know, Dylan, about VA loans, and then you don't share it with your network, then who's that helping, right? And so that thing is just pushing the content out to where you can get people asking questions, and people ask you questions like, "Hey, Dylan, I saw you posted something about multifamily properties with a VA loan. I can be an investor with a VA loan. How do I do that?" Next thing you know, you've got yourself a buyer, and you're building your business. So that's how I help veterans and realtors alone. I like.
I want to ask you about the regionality of lending. I've been seeing this trend just from guests on the show. Uh, this is the Texas Real Estate Pros podcast, but we've had so many guests from across the country on our sister podcast. One of the things that I've seen is that lenders seem to be going across state lines more and more and more. And I've often been curious about that because I've thought, well, as someone who's worked a lot with investors, that seems challenging. Do you go across state lines? Is a majority of your business focused in Texas? And then also, what do you make of this trend where you have, smaller lenders lending everywhere?
Yeah, it's a good one, because I do see that too. I see things changing out there, and that happens with the markets, right? Things have to change. I just stay within Texas. I don't go outside of Texas. I think Texas is plenty big for me to try to keep up with. I do go statewide, so I think sometimes I've had people work with me in Houston that work with me because I'm local, even though I'm in Austin. I'm like, I'm not really local, but because I'm in Texas, they can connect with that more than they can with somebody in Colorado.
Yeah.
But I do think it helps when the pre-approval letter goes out and you have a local lender on that pre-approval letter, or somebody at least in Texas that's a specialist. I think it has a lot more value and a lot more pull than somebody in another state on another time zone or something trying to say, hey, yeah, I can do loans anywhere. And that being said, my biggest competitor is our corporate office in Missouri. They do a lot of business online. That's who we're up against. But when it comes down to it, I'm here in the trenches. I'm meeting with the realtors. I'm teaching them how VA loans work. I'm talking to the veterans, and I think that makes the difference. And I think that's hard to do if you're in another state and you're trying to cover all 50 states. I think that's you're spread pretty thin. So
I tend to agree. I initially was surprised, but now I've seen so much of it that I say, oh, this must be a trend. We are coming up on time here, Chad. Where can
yeah.
folks go if maybe they are interested in a VA loan for themselves? They know they're eligible, but they don't know too much about the process, or if they've got general questions, they may be a realtor and they'd like to reach out to you or your team.
Sure. Yeah, the best way to reach me is just chadbowman.com. That's ChadBowman.com. That's it. I've got my classes there. I've got my newsletter there they can sign up for anytime. And that's for veterans or realtors. They can text or call me. All my contact info is right there, so it's easy to find. And if you want to apply for pre-approval, you can do that. I mean, certainly be great if we have a conversation first, but if you just want to hop online and do it, all of that is right at chadbowman.com.
Chad,
That's
thank you
it.
so much for coming on the show here today.
Happy to be here. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us for today's show. If you're looking to take your business and your life to the next level, you really need to learn more about the Investor Fuel Mastermind. It's your shortcut to success. To learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other amazing entrepreneurs, 100% financing on your deals, member-only discounts, and so much more, please visit investorfuel.com/Texas. By the way, Investor Fuel is even Texas-based. Also, if you're interested in applying to be a guest on this very show, the Texas Real Estate Pro Show, please visit investorfuel.com/Texas. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app so you never miss another episode. We'll see you on the next show.